Hi Claire, as previously conveyed to yourself, I am committed to stop elected councillors from breaking regulations. I am well aware of planning regulations and know what expect to see when applications are submitted and are not correctly presented. Try again, Councillor Baxter. Enter. The 11th of January, 24, Planning Enforcement Complaint Form _ submission reference is 19020 for .pdf. 45.7 kilobytes. Enter. The 15th of January, 2024, Baxter Enforcement Acknowledgement Letter .pdf. 54.52 kilobytes. Enter. The 19th of January, 24, Objection, Comments for Planning Application 24-00057 adv.pdf. 512.95 kilobytes. Enter. Dear Graham, thank you for sending on. I'll go through these as soon as I can. Claire. Enter. You can now call each other and see information such as active status and when you've read messages. Sorry, just one more. Enter. F. 20.01.24 Planning Application Objection 24.00057.adv.pdf. 173.01 kilobytes. Enter. Hello again. So if I understand correctly, you complained on the 21st of November, 23 about a non-illuminated sign with floodlighting, video screen, erected by Baxter Homes adjacent to 45, Tithbarn Street. Wire Council have said they would get back to you within 15 working days, but with a wrong reference and mentioning a static sign, so you have asked them to reply quicker? Enter. No. The original complaint was the 21st of November, 23 regarding the large very bright video screen that was so bright it was ridiculous. Then after the notice it was switch off before Christmas. After Christmas they installed flood lighting at ground level still without an application. Then I sent enforcement on the 11th of January, 24. They replied on the 15th of January, 24 still with no application and informed me of grade 3 for investigation, still no application, and it would be enforcement on the 19th of January. 24 an application was posted for the first time and have objected to wording. Finally sent my email to the officer who made the error of a fictitious advert application as worded to cause me to investigate. It was a lie. Somebody in has the right to permit applications. Unfortunately, I don't expect an employee to sanction what planning can be permitted without some form of checking. That, to be honest, that position is consulting with committee and informing them of a decision. My next statement may surprise you to know that applications are hidden on the web portal in the guise of PIP applications. Why is there no mention in any planning meetings? Because they are approved by the officers. Enter. Thank you for explaining the chain. You probably know this, but planning enforcement doesn't come to the planning committee. The planning applications that do are either called in by councillors or the planning officers. I haven't seen one for signage at all yet. Not all of them need permission, but my understanding was that where they are illuminated, most do. Would you like me to check if these are usually delegated decisions by planning officers? Claire. Enter. As you say, there is always methods of response. This one against my objection on behalf of Save Bourne Hill was a simple shot to get some response from a planning member. I was somewhat surprised with Steve's response, having known him for many years, but let it drop at that stage. Even though it's dependent on the person. If you search ADV on planning applications, there are many applications that apply to new developments and you will see there is not a set pattern. It's as if the developer would not need to put an application submission in, but who says so for the double standards clearly implemented? Enter. Response _ Town and Country Planning, Control of Advertisements, Graham Shaw, Outlook.pdf. 442.8 kilobytes. Enter. Hi Claire, sorry to contact you when you are probably busy preparing for tomorrow's meeting. However, you may find this of interest. Could you inquire into the legalities of a council officer redacting an objection submission prior to posting onto the Wire Planning web portal? It may come as a surprise that there is a private Facebook group page with a dedicated team collating evidence of maladministration over the planning processes used by Wire, and every day the collators file even more. Your views are interesting, and we don't intend to implement you at all, and you have my commitment that it is only to steer you through the detritus from the wake of the planning policy used by the majority party that clearly treat others as puppets. It's good to know that our efforts are appreciated by serving councillors that are our allies will not be targeted. However, have great meeting tomorrow and can't wait to see the published minutes when they are posted. My point of this message is highlighted in yellow on attached with the actual redacted submission, which clearly shows that committee are not getting the full objection submissions to determine their decisions. How many times has this occurred in the past, but is relevant to any objections? Just as a point, have you or your team checked the objections for the quarry and noticed any visible redactions as indicated on attached original at top and redaction shown below? Many regards, Graham. Enter. Enter. Hi Graham, I care about transparency, so I am completely fine for you to ask questions of what I have done, thought, why I voted certain ways, as a councillor. I have noted your recent email by the way to the planning committee, and I will answer, but as I am relatively new to planning it will take me a while to go through everything again, so it will probably be next week now. On this one, I'll check the reference and ask planning the criteria for redacting comments. My only thoughts are GDPR personal information, but I'll let you know any criteria. Kind regards, Cllr. Enter. Thumbs up sign. Enter. Hi Cllr, unfortunately I have uncovered another suspicious issue that is showing some concern with regard to affordable housing deals under planning agreements. I am just running this by you if you know the answer before I contact the Wire Cabinet and CEO for explanation how the council collects revenue towards services from a dormant company without registered turnover, especially being in the leader's ward. Or is this just a method to gain planning and forget about the future expenditure on services, smoke and mirrors again? Enter. The 30th of September, 23, Norcross, Meadowgate Management Company accounts for a dormant company.pdf. 73.5 kilobytes. Enter. Dear Graham, I know nothing about that. I'm sorry. You are better contacting the Cabinet and CEO as you suggest. I am not in any finance committees. I haven't forgotten your other inquiry. Kind regards, Cllr. Enter. The 24th of February, 24R HUD, email, Graham Shaw, outlook.pdf. 96.23 kilobytes. Enter. Dear Graham, thank you for forwarding. I was at the planning meeting when this was discussed and I raised this objection at the meeting. Are you saying the file was wrongly named? Kind regards, Cllr. Enter. Hi Cllr, my point is, there is a systemic practice of filing on the portal and failing to use the objection. I will send proof when I am at home later. Enter. Thanks. This objection was definitely brought up in the documentation and on the site as I read it, and I asked a question about it. Kind regards, Cllr. Enter. Hi Cllr, to clarify my email point is to get a response from the CEO to see what her view is on this issue and if she condones the actions of the officers. I hope she brings this practice up with the Audit and Standards Committee to prove that the members have any power, or are they just filing the constitutional guidelines? Firstly, I must say I was very annoyed with regard to my questions asked about the appointment of an independent member, who was awarded the role under suspicious circumstances, with the leader making a statement on the appointment before the published closing date on the council portal. That was brushed off with an apology from Jane Collier only to blame the subcontractor, even though the mistake was an error by the council data management for not updating the vacancies page or spotting the error, then reacting the position incorrectly. However, this can only be expected by council staff who repetitively make errors and clearly should be taken to task. And honestly think they have the position for life, unlike councillors who are based on the length of their elected tenure. Attached, is a snapshot of the application filing page, which is yellow highlighted to indicate the errors that should be indicated as objections in the column format of the page under description. The recent addition is a newly loaded application with all documents dated as loaded the 21st of February, 2024. Finally, I must say that the staff operating the planning portal need to be reminded that the portal is open access as a public record and need to be aware of the errors which could be classed as misconduct or maladministration when clearly not meeting the procedures of the system. I could continue, but I am feeling disheartened by the quantity of errors and cover-ups displayed. Granted, you have only been in the council for a short period, but things have got to change. Therefore, I am operating an independent survey to obtain public response to the attitude of Wyre Council that will be published very shortly with some astounding results and comments from the residents of Wyre. https://www.emailmeform.com/builder/form/9st7djmk21s for A. Email me form, WYRE Council Services Review. Enter. Enter. _22_00815_ full my residential development for 184 no dwellings with associated works, Phase 3, land off Lambs Road, Thornton, Cleveland, Lancashire.pdf. 273.03 kilobytes. Enter. Origin advert non-redacted.pdf. 358.19 kilobytes. Enter. Amy Andrews amy.andrews@jobsgopublic.com, Graham Shaw, outlook.pdf. 143.3 for kilobytes. Enter. Response_appointment of an independent person to the Audit and Standards Committee. Graham Shaw, outlook.pdf. 164.61 kilobytes. Enter. Final version, independent member appointment to audit.pdf. 101.91 kilobytes. Enter. Resend_appointment of an independent person to the Audit and Standards Committee PDF. 76.33 kilobytes. Enter. Another goal, leaving the current score at 2-0 for the little people. We have the voice when we use it. However, the fact is still that the non-illuminated advertisement is still not planning approved, so it's time for round 3 for marketing office and associated signage that mysteriously disappeared as an objection from the public record, crying with laughing at Baxter Homes' blatant disregard for planning. Unfortunately, the CEO responded to my FOI with response that objections are not removed from public records at any time. Enter. Enter. The 19th of March, 24, re-application, 24.00057.adv resolved, almost, PDF. For 159.77 kilobytes. Enter. Hi there. So the sign has been refused planning? But you believe a previous objection of yours has been removed. Cllr. Enter. There are no objections on file. That is a matter for the CEO to investigate as stated on my email to Rebecca. Enter. Thank you. Enter. Please correct me if I am wrong, but where does say in Steve Smith report mention anything regarding objection gross misconduct in my world for the second time with the refusal of Normos development and haven't received a response from my email to Councillor Berry? So much evidence it's only to be expected, but at least the Ombudsman are looking into my claims. Enter. I asked for a reply to a query you had. Apologies. Will send in this morning. Cllr. Enter. The 12th of March, 24, final or resend, update request, the Mayoralty Working Group.pdf. 308.47 kilobytes. Enter. Why do the council need a working group and a selection panel to choose a mayor chair that has served 12 months? Enter. From my understanding, the working group looked at the role of the mayor and came up with a new selection process. Labour had an amendment to call the role chair and modernise the position, but that was not passed. Councillor Duffy, who was in the working group, also complained that the working group had changed little in terms of the duties of the mayor. The selection panel has chosen the mayor. I wasn't on this working group. I was surprised on the selection as it seems to be considered a more junior role. Enter. Special duties allowance justification. Enter. Maybe, but the mayoral role is actually a very tough one. They get invited to hundreds of community and other events per year. They are busy every weekend. They also play an important role in chairing the meetings. Enter. Messenger upgraded the security of this chat. New messages and calls are secured with end-to-end encryption. Learn more. Enter. By way of a change of attack, I hope you have seen official Poulton file chat ref 23/00500 LMAJ that is on the agenda for the 3rd of April, 24 planning meeting, another hidden report that is important. I could submit an objection, but is it worth bothering until the committee have not recorded the evidence from public record? It's such a shame that I won't trust any decisions, and will they ever be upfront and fully documented without misleading the electorate? But our MP is really interested in the evidence of maladministration I have collated. Enter. The 23rd of June, 23, 2_2023_00500_ LCC.pdf. 136.44 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. See if you can find this. Enter. Thanks. I'll check for this when preparing, including whether the wording has been incorporated into the recommendation. Thank you. Enter. It is good you are in contact with your MP. Enter. Edited. As this communication is on an upcoming planning application, I will forward your inquiry to planning officers as information received by me before the meeting. Enter. I can't discuss the application before that date. Thanks again for raising this. Cllr. Enter. If you check the latest committee report for the meeting, there is a shortened version of the report, which is how I picked up there must be a full report as sent to you. Enter. Thank you. Very useful. Cllr. Enter. You unsent a message. Enter. You sent finally. They have still not taken into account the Horsebridge watercourse, and as pointed out, the Councillor Berry in the Normos development is a shared tributary to Skip Pool and also Hillalade Pool Thornton, with a filled-in horseshoe levelling pond at Pool Lodge workshops. Reported to Thornton Flood Action Group. Enter. The 1st of April, 24, issue 3, planning application 22.00762.dis, bournehill.pdf. 593.74 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. Sorry Cllr, just thought I would send you an email sent yesterday regarding landfill issues at Fleetwood. I have not received a reply once again, and have copied Zoe Domet, at Office of the Right Honourable Ben Wallace MP, Member of Parliament for Wyre and Preston North. I am becoming increasingly annoyed that any communications sent to Wyre Council are ignored and will release onto media platforms. Enter. Thanks. I will check this evening. Cllr. Enter. Somebody will crack one day. Enter. The 9th of April, 24, email r.berry, Graham Shaw, Bournehill Appropriation, LAN 34532.pdf. 583.7 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. Enter. Cllr replied to you. Attachment. That is really interesting. Thank you for that history. Enter. Cllr replied to you. Attachment. On gas monitoring I checked for you and there was nothing due from the developer until construction began, but I need to go back to the application and send references. Enter. Cllr replied to you. Attachment. I am unsure why a reference number can't be sent. Enter. They agreed that the number was wrongly minuted, then altered the records, which is what highlighted they were talking about my family land. Why will they not release the number? Because that will maybe expose the error. Enter. Hi Claire, just letting you know that I am surprised I haven't had a response from 2 councillors that were heading up the Fleetwood landfill public meeting. However, it does not surprise me, they played dumb regarding my emails regarding gas monitoring. Enter. 01.0 for point 24, pound of issue 3 planning application 22.007662.disbornhill.pdf. 593.74 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. When I checked with planning, they said no further monitoring was required until construction started on the gas monitoring. Will reply officially though. Claire. Enter. Have you read the report? That is not how I read the recommendations. There should be addition readings published. Enter. Yes, but need to go back over it. Claire. Enter. You just filled a gap as to why Wire Marine Services came up in searching. Did they do any benthic surveys for Halite Energy? Enter. I'd have to check on the company. Not sure it was them, but Wire may have asked them to do something linked. Wire was not the developer, only monitoring. As the Halite project had to legally start in July 2020 or lose their consent, I would guess any legal advice would be linked to that. Enter. I have a feeling I emailed the company and got told off, so it wasn't Wire Marine Services. Enter. We'll look at my old emails. Enter. In the end, the start was a bit of gravel. Enter. Enter. The pale square in the field is it, the access road. Enter. Claire unsent a message. Enter. Claire unsent a message. Enter. I keep meaning to write to the Marine Management Organization to see if any movement on this. Highly unlikely. I think they are trying to change it into hydrogen storage. Enter. Sorry Claire, another typical error on the planning process. I know it's not your area, and it makes a change to send to a councillor that seems to be sat on the fence towing the party line most of his tenure. Enter. The 13th of May, 24, objection, 1, planning application 23.00574.dis.pdf. 453.5 for kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. The 13th of May, 24, objection, 1, and 2, planning application 23.00574.dis.pdf. 90.5 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. The 13th of May, 24, objection, 2, planning application 23.00574.dis.pdf. 453.5 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. I'll look it up. Thanks. Enter. Just thought I would knock someone off the fence. Can't see anything he has done in this tenure. Enter. I find it such a waste of time when the officers don't tell councillors the truth. Dog wagging tail comes to mind. Enter. The 23rd of May, 24, second email response, AL, Graham Shaw, Outlook.pdf. 423.81 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. Click to see post. Facebook. Enter. I saw the post on the environmental health on the Wire page. I'll check in with procurement. Claire. Enter. Thanks. Failure of liaison between departments. Anyone under investigation should be checked. I know county do it, and if there is anything suspect, the company is put on hold, clearly not at Wire. Enter. Save Bourne Hill. What are we paying for? Hello, your communication with Wire Council's Planning Department has been received. Please be aware that if you are communicating on a planning application, you will not receive a response due to the volume of messages received. Correspondence relating to all current applications can be viewed at https://publicaccess.wire.government.uk for online applications. https://gbr safe links protectio north outlook.com URL equals https://f public access wyre govern UK%f online applications%f and data equals %c%c%cedibib add dbdc. Another suspect application. I don't understand how. Another suspect application. I don't understand how they do it 3 times in chats, inbox, commute. D how they do it 3 times in a week. Enter. The 18th of July, 24 Objection Planning Application 24-00583 lcc.pdf. 452.1 kilobytes. Couldn't download. Retry. Enter. Have you asked someone to call it in already? Enter. I was hoping for some clarity that Councillor Rayner, as usual, has backed away with not WYRE's decision. There is something going on in the background that needs understanding. NPL have the upper hand. Enter. So LCC are asking Wire for a scoping opinion? I can't open the Wire planning portal, just arrived overseas. We'll try again in the morning. In the meantime, what do you want clarified? Do we know what kind of waste? Enter. Edited. Just arrived in Australia, so in a different time zone. I'm very happy to follow up though. It is late here, so will probably be tomorrow morning. I'd be keen to follow up on NPL plans as I am interested in the hydrogen proposals. Enter. Have a good break, Cllr. Their avoidance to answer FOI requests that there are no schemes active for gas storage is beginning to answer itself. Why are there no design documents or plans lodged on all 3 applications lodged this week? I am aware that the unsatisfied mortgages taken in 2004 by Halite Energy and Canachex UK LP are nearly due, so I can imagine the tie-up with NPL Energy will require some refunding or production benefits for the investments. I just pleased to sit on the sidelines and see what develops. You never know. I could get some form of return for tying up my investments for 20 years term of the mortgages. Enter. We'll definitely check this out. 3 proposals this week? We'll look at that. Enter. Gas flaring is for burning off of excessive gas stored. It all sounds okay, but without design details it makes me concerned for not only your residents, but also the general area. Fracking went away, so they have to develop the production of gas, be it via landfill or bio-production. There are clearly many billions at stake with the future of Hill House Enterprises. Already sat there with dormant companies waiting to hit production in the near future. Enter. 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 They won't admit that they cheated by only publishing the agenda for review after redacting the submission from Dr. Barbara, but at least she is digging a hole. Enter. The 1st of October, 24, public question. Marianne Unwin, full council Thursday 12 September 2024. PDF. 1.3 megabytes. Enter. Cllr replied to you. On Hill House I saw this recently. Enter. Enter. From. Enter. Enter. Cllr replied to themselves. Noted on underground hydrogen storage. Enter. Cllr replied to you. They won't admit that they cheated by only publishing the agenda for Rev. So only the first question published? Enter. Correct, so both questions should have been reviewed by Roger Berry, and I honestly blame the officers for him to not answer the question and feel disgusted by the sit down and shut up approach. Because it would be new to him if he hadn't read it. Enter. He must have seen it. Enter. How could he if it had been removed? I was sent the original document from Dr. Barbara and there was 2 questions. Enter. Oh, I see. They only allowed 1, shame they didn't ask if another person could submit the second? Enter. The wording of the Constitution says questions, then when the time comes they change the rules. How many changes in the Constitution by made in 1 term? General members of the public who live in the borough may ask questions of members of the cabinet or make representations in the form of a statement or present a petition about any issue affecting the borough at ordinary meetings of the council. The period of time allocated for such questions and statements shall not normally exceed 30 minutes. No person may speak for longer than 5 minutes. Order of questions, statements and petitions. Questions will be asked, statements will be made and petitions presented in the order notice of them was received, except that the mayor or person presiding may group together similar questions or statements on issues which relate to the same topic. Notice of questions and statements. A question may only be asked, or a statement be made, if notice has been given by delivering the question or statement in writing or by electronic mail. Part 4.016 updated the 12th of September, 2024 via Borough Council Constitution Rules of Procedure, Part 4 to the Chief Executive no later than 12 noon 2 calendar days prior to the day of agenda publication. The day of agenda publication will be 5 clear working days, usually 7 calendar days, prior to the date of the meeting. Each question must give the name and address of the questioner and name the member of the cabinet to whom it is put. Supplementary questions. Any questioner who has asked a question in person may ask 1 supplementary question, without notice, to the cabinet member who answered the original question. The supplementary question must arise directly from the original question or the reply given. The mayor may reject a supplementary question if it does not arise directly from the original question or the reply given. Unless the mayor agrees otherwise, a member of the public making a statement will not be permitted to comment further following a response from the leader or a portfolio holder. Enter. It says each question, but doesn't rule out that a person can ask more than 1. Enter. I'll have to check more carefully above. Enter. 9.6 Circulation of questions. Copies of all valid questions will be published on the council agenda. Enter. Yes. So you are saying that the questions in the minutes omit one of the questions sent in by Dr. Neil before the meeting? Enter. SND. That question was poorly answered by Councillor Berry? Enter. Yes, you got it. Enter. Will Dr. Neil be submitting it again at the next meeting, or do you have a copy of question 2? Was it the same as the follow-up question at the meeting? Enter. Barbara is still waiting for a reply on her complaint to the CEO as instructed in recording and draft minutes. Enter. Thanks. Enter. 08.10.24 FOI requesters wire Borough Councils wire Peninsula Gas Storage.pdf 98.07 kilobytes. Enter. https://www.whatdotheyknow.com/gas_storage_wire_peninsula www.whatdotheyknow.com. Enter. I presume you were copied in on my email response from Michael Vincent today regarding gas storage. This leaves me with one question: why would the council spend money on advice from King's Chambers when he is so confident? The man must really struggle to sleep straight in his bed. https://www.facebook.com/graham.shawshoggy/videos/1008206220863369 for question mark ida vanity =7638 for 9252357263 www.facebook.com. Enter. Yes, I was. Enter. The permission was given by the Secretary of State, so in my opinion whether a new application would need to be made given hydrogen not gas would be something they would decide. Enter. Edited. The current proposal still has had permission. I think any sot worth their salt would argue for a whole new application given the age of the previous application and changes in legislation, the estuary and the world since then. Enter. But who knows? Enter. Surprised NPL haven't jumped in carbon storage yet. Enter. Hi Cllr, being on the planning committee, I am surprised with regard to the recent application. Please note soakaways are historically a direct result of contamination, and to find there is no technical information it leads to future speculation due to the type of installation. See attached objection that I am sure you will investigate on behalf of residents. Also, I bring to your attention the pro forma consultation form that is partially completed prior to any results of testing. Have officers got new crystal balls? Personally, I suggest the council have already decided there are no problems. As stated, this land is directly west of the Hill House site, and to preempt results smacks of corruption. Enter. Objection to planning application 24_00832_PAA, Graham Shaw, Outlook.pdf. 484.27 kilobytes. Enter. The 30th of October, 24, land_contamination_proforma, 1.pdf. 94.04 kilobytes. Enter. Received with thanks. We'll look into this carefully. Cllr. Enter. Very good to see that the Duchy are open on answers, but AGC keep the problems to themselves. Enter. The 9th of November, 24, Duchy Estates Land for Wire Borough Council.pdf. 190.25 kilobytes. Enter. Thanks. I think preliminary results are due any time. They have had some already, as we got them very on the allotments at the last meeting, full council. Enter. Edited. Good evening Cllr, assume you have not received any updates to my questions you presented to the council. This month, due to technicalities with the gas storage, I have put plans in place to recover investments from Halite, and due to legal actions will keep the results to myself for the time being unless you have a favourable response that you have not provided yet. Enter. On Halite or on the historic contamination. All info I received was at the council, although I ask about both regularly. Been away since Sunday, so I will check emails tomorrow. Enter. More lies, they have to admit what they are planning. Enter. The 12th of December, 24, Public Pack, Enterprise Zones Progress Reports, Late Submission Agenda Supplement for Blackpool, filed and Wire Economic Prosperity Board.pdf. 180.71 kilobytes. Enter. It's interesting, a 2022 investment inquiry marked as hot but also delays with new government. I'll make inquiries urgently. Enter. Having read last week's council minutes posted today, I am fuming. Enter. The 10th of December, 2024, www.wire.gov.uk-multi-agency Graham Shaw, Outlook.pdf. 123.6 kilobytes. Enter. I think they have written the dates American style. They were aware of potential problems and sent a letter in July. Then another in October and again on the 2nd of December. I was disappointed, no test results. I wrote to the multi-agency email address and they are due out any time. Enter. I hope you understand where I am coming from. Misleading information, if this issue ends going legal, will make Wire Council look ridiculous in court. Enter. There isn't a date on the letter itself that would clarify. Enter. There is lack of dates on WBC documents when start researching reports and letters. Enter. Can he not answer a question when asked? Another failure to show how ridiculous he behaves.